Peeps, Coach Darnay here. Wow, it's been a long time, huh? I know. Well, I wanted to talk to you today. I've been really wanting to talk to you for the last couple of weeks. So I have so much stuff to say, right? So I'm trying to hone it down into like the small amount of time that we have to talk like we normally do. Um, I wanted to convey to you today that you never know who you're going to meet later on who met you before and remembers you from a time different than what you remember them. I was on a phone conversation today and I was talking with a lady who I admire a lot, who has a lot of things really great going for her. And when we met, that I remember, I was at a conference and she really did some things to bless me because I think I was just having a moment of just weary, and I was really weary. There was a lot of overwhelm. There was a lot of underwhelm in terms of my life. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't expect to come up and come out to a complete stranger. And she blessed me so much that first meeting, or at least the first meeting that I remember, that I cannot exponentially explain the love that I have for this woman just from that one encounter. And really and truly, she's just such a really, really great person, right? So I had some business that I wanted to refer to her. And I called her and I left her a message, and she called me back, and we were talking about, of course, what I wanted to refer to her. And then we came around to, after all that stuff, because we're bonding and creating friendship. We began to talk about the personal stuff, and I'm telling her, well, the business is going really well. I got clients that I'm doing one-on-ones with, and I've got people that I'm actually coaching now. I've got people, like more than a few people. I was going to do a retreat, and I have a telesummit coming up, and all these things are really great, and this is what's going on in my life, and this is happening, and that's happening, and all of these great and wonderful things, right? And I'm telling her all of this stuff, and then she brings it all back home for me, and she says, she reminds me of the message that I left her on the phone. Because I said to her on the phone, I said, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the girl that you blessed, and were so kind to at, that conference that we were at, and I'm the person, and I'm reaching out to you. I know we, connected on Facebook, and I've sent you some referrals before, but this is the first time I've really called you, so I just want to make sure you remember who I am, right? And that wasn't what she remembered of me, because we were talking a little bit more. She said, I just want to say this to you. She said, I don't remember you as the girl that I helped, who needed support in a time when she was weak. That's not how I think of you. So I don't want you to think that about what I think of you. And I was like, wow, just blown away at that part of the statement, right? Because if you would know the blessing that she was to me, it was just amazing. I mean, I don't meet perfect strangers and pour my heart out to them. I don't do that. I'm pretty transparent, but pouring your heart out and crying, I don't do that in front of perfect strangers unless it's a safe space. Conferences, I might do that maybe, but usually if I'm not really in a place where I'm comfortable, and I won't do it. I won't break down. I won't give information about myself, right? So it just, she said, well, that's not how I remember you. And then she said something to me that really, really blew my mind. And this is the part where you never know where people know you from, even though you know them from a specific place. They may know you from somewhere else. And she said, do you remember when you did a talk for 15 minutes at a business gathering way back? He was last year, January. This was my first. This is my first time speaking publicly, and really trying to find my way in my calling. And she said, I was there. And I remember you, I know you as the person who took the mic and sent ripples to the room. I know you as the woman who spoke so clearly and concisely that you penetrated the room with your words, and you penetrated me. That's where I know you from. You penetrated my spirit that day. So I don't remember you as the girl who I helped. I remember you as the woman who spoke life into my soul. I was so utterly blown away. Why? First thing is because it was my first time speaking. Second thing is because I don't remember anybody from that day, is I was so utterly nervous. I was just trying to make sure I could remember what I was going to say. In that speech, I said it, I wrote it like 5 times and it didn't come out right. And then when it finally came out right, I like a day to learn it, and I was really going off of it, and it was just, I was really trying, right, to be the person that I'm supposed to be. And I was completely trying to be ready to walk in my calling, and I was so nervous, and so, yeah, I remember people coming up to me and saying how well you did, and oh my gosh, the words you said. And so there are friends that I have from that first encounter where I spoke that I do remember, right? There are a few people, because we interact all the time now, or more regularly than we did before. I didn't know them before that, but the people in the audience, even the ones who came up to me and said stuff to me, I really and truly, I was still so nervous. I don't really remember a lot of people, and that, I guess it's to my fault. But I promise, I was so blown away by what she said. I was so utterly blown. I don't get speechless. I do videos for a living, right? I do this all the time for you, so I have a lot to say, right? I was so utterly speechless that all I could say was, wow, you remember that speech? You remember me from that? Not that it was a bad speech, but it was just, I didn't, I was so nervous and so afraid of being the person that I'm called to be at that point, that none of this was even really happening then. I think I told you about my first speech. I may have. Because I think I was doing videos back then. So I'm sure I did say something to you about it. But honestly, I don't really remember the speech. I didn't record it because I was too nervous to remember to record it. I didn't have anybody there to do video for me because I didn't have any money to have somebody doing video for me. I didn't have anybody to do, I didn't even think to have somebody do sound bites or take a picture with their phone or I didn't bring it. I was so nervous. All I could do was get up and speak, and that was pretty much it. And literally before I spoke, I was like, holding my thing of like this, reading so I could make sure I had it, and I just had to tell myself, okay, you got it, and be done with it. And she remembered the power in me saying yes to my calling and what that meant for the people in the room, because she was touched. Amazing. 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 So, how we talk about life in 4G being in God, a life of giving, a life of gratitude, and a life living in your greatness and walking in your greatness unapologetically, right? So that was the beginning of that stage. That was the beginning for me of walking in my greatness unapologetically. That was the beginning of a deeper dive in God. Because I've been a Christian all my life. I've been going to church since before I could even walk and talk. I accepted Jesus the first time in my heart when I was 7, 8. I was baptized when I was 8 the first time, came up out of the water speaking in tongues. I've been walking with God and hearing his voice. I don't know a day. Okay? So it's not that I didn't have faith. And it's not that I didn't know God. And it's not that I didn't have an understanding of what it is to know God in places where you trust him, right? But to walk into something where you have all I did was write what was told to write. It was so not me, but it was so me walking into opening my mouth. My prayer every time I speak is, Lord, I'm going to open my mouth. That's the deal we have. Me and God. We got the deal. I'm going to open my mouth and you're going to feel it. That's how we're going to work that. Because I can't go up there on my own, in myself. And I was so not going in myself that walking in God, the living in God was so prevalent at that point in my existence because I didn't have anything. I've never been trained to speak. I've never been, and so it was a thing where I was just saying yes. Like I was simply saying yes to my calling, simply saying yes to everything that I know or I believe is already in there. And not being afraid, not being more afraid, I should say, to do it than to not do it. And I say it that way because I am always afraid in some form to get up before people. But I'm more afraid of them not getting the message that they're supposed to have to broaden their lives. And if that's got to come from me, then the fear that I feel to get up has to shut up and go away. That's just negative self-chatter. That's just the trying to keep myself safe. I get that. So in the trying to keep myself safe, I work on just being simply comfortable in my own skin at this point and being unapologetic. But that was the first place of me being in God and living a life deeper in God for this, because this is all a faith walk. I know I tell you all the time that the blessing is in your yes. That conversation today proved to me that the blessing for me is in my yes, because it was truly, there was truly a blessing to hear from her that I blessed her. But the blessing in my yes is for you as well. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really cool how how remember we were talking about the seeds, how the seeds go out and they come back? It's that kind of thing. And so I wanted to convey to you today that you never know where your words have touched people. And you always want your words, your thoughts, your deeds, all of that stuff. The part of you that makes you the serving person. You never know where you've served and you've affected someone else. You think you're just doing what you do, right? I thought I was just giving a speech. People say, oh, it was good. People are going to be nice to you when you speak and say that, say that stuff. At least they should be. But truly, to hear almost a year later that she was blessed was amazing for me. So the blessing, again, is in your yes. And always, always, always make sure your yes is a continuous yes all the way through. Even when you want to say, ooh, this is scary. Yes. This might be hard. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to get paid. If God says do it, you say yes anyway. Okay, wait, let me qualify that too. So that's not to say that you don't get paid for your gifts, because God uses your gifts to make room for you. He also gave you your gifts so that you can bless people, so that they can bless you back, right? So you have to remember that it's not about the money. It's about serving, right? And the money and the wealth and all the other stuff will come. Seek ye first the kingdom. Seek everything that he has for you first. And then everything else will be added to you. Just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, I want you guys to remember that the blessing is always, always, always in your yes. And the blessing of saying yes is that you never know where your seed that you're planting truly blesses people. You don't know where people know you from, even though you know them from someplace else. I know her from the meeting that we had, but she knew me from a completely different place. And so her mindset about me is completely different than what I thought it was initially. Not that she doesn't love me, but in my head, she just made my understanding of, you are not this person to me. You are this person to me. Pow. Like, pow. Shattered all my stuff and made me understand that people see you as they see you. They don't see you as you see you or you expect them to see you. People see you as they see you. So whatever seed it is you planted for them to see, that's what they see of you. Nothing more, nothing less. So, bringing it all back in, it was really great to talk to you guys again. Really great, really great. I hope that this one blessed you, because it blessed me to give it to you. For real, for real. Life in 4G is living a life of giving, living a life of God. Oh, wait, before I do this. Wait. So, up and coming this October is the 4Divas tour. It will be taking place in Maryland, and I will be there on stage. So watch for the promos. They're going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Pictures and all this kind of stuff is going to be happening in the next couple of weeks as well. I am uber excited about that. Uber excited to be one of the 4Divas for Divas. So please follow. I'll be giving more information out. My website is up, DawnOry.com. If you want to find out information about me, how to contact me, if you want to know about the programs that I have to offer, I have audio, I have video. If you want to know about how to be able to be coached by me, because I am accepting coaching clients now, please, there's a link below to my website. Please click the link below. Find out all the information you need. If you need to email me to get questions to me, please do that as well. It has been a pleasure, and I am so very happy to be on this journey with you. And I thank you for being on the journey with me. Life in 4G is living a life of giving, living a life of God. Living a life in God, living a life of giving, living a life of gratitude, and living unapologetically in your greatness. Never take first impressions for granted, because although your first impression is one thing, the other person's first impression of you might be something different.